Here we go. All right. So, who's a little excited to be here?
A little excited.
A little excited. Okay, a little bit. So I'm Dr. Tomasetti. Leslie is our case manager. You probably talked to her to get in here today. Dr. Jeff is helping some patients, so he'll be out here in a little while. And Aaron's at the front desk, Ben's our office manager. That's our crew right now. And we're growing. So, today we're talking about 3 breakthrough secrets to actually reverse neuropathy. Who's thinking, yeah, right? Be honest.
Pretty much so.
Yeah, pretty much so. Yeah, sounds too good to be true, right? So I know kind of who we're talking to. Who's actually been diagnosed with neuropathy? A couple of you have.
I have it in the hands.
In the hands? Okay. Yeah, so a lot of it's going to relate to feet, but the same concepts will transfer to hands as well. And how about you?
I'm without it.
Okay, so got it. Yep, okay, that's helpful to know, so I can kind of tailor this for you guys today. So, briefly, my family, that's what I do when I'm not here. My amazing wife, Emily, we have 6 kiddos, and my oldest 2 are coming home from college for the holidays here, and, you know, good family time, so I'm looking forward to that.
Who's that handsome guy right here?
On the side?
Yeah, who's that?
I don't know.
Oh, he's handsome.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'll tell him you said so.
Okay.
So today I want to show you guys how in the world we can do this naturally with 50 to 100% improvement even where other systems have failed. Okay? Has anybody else tried other things for neuropathy yet?
I think so.
Haven't tried? Okay, cool. Just so we know what's going on with that. Now, let's take a step back. Some people don't even know what neuropathy is.
Yeah.
So, what is peripheral neuropathy? Bottom line is, it's damage to the nerves that are outside of the brain and the spinal cord. So that can be anywhere, hands, arms, legs, feet, you name it. If it's not brain or spine, it's considered peripheral, and it's damage to those nerves. Okay? So, that's what that is. There's over 20 million people that are dealing with this on a day-to-day basis. And these are old numbers. So that's more than that now. But it's a lot of people. How do you get this stuff? Is it contagious? Like, can you contract it from somebody else?
Well, I think it's his age, right?
Okay, so if that were true, good thought. But if it were age, everybody would reach a similar age and get neuropathy. Does that happen?
I don't know.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, I don't know then.
Yeah, not everybody gets it.
Okay.
Yeah, which is why it's a big deal, right? Because when you got it, I've seen a lot of things, so we'll go into that in a minute. But you're not alone. There's a lot of people dealing with this. I'll tell you what it is. It averages out to 1 in 6 people over age 40 in the U.S. deal with this.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's more than you think. Yeah. So what are the traditional treatment options if you've been diagnosed and they've been treating it with something? What have they been giving you so far? What are their options?
Physical therapy.
Yeah, PT, yeah. What else? Anything else? They haven't done anything for you? No medications, nothing. Just, hey, welcome.
Hey,
glad you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're just getting started. So you didn't miss much over here. We're talking about what the traditional treatment options are for neuropathy. And briefly, have you been diagnosed with neuropathy, or you're here for somebody that has been? Okay, I love the jingle bells. That's fun. Very fascinating.
Yeah.
So, traditional options are typically medications. You mentioned physical therapy. Anybody else have other options that they've given you or been talked about?
I don't know nobody. I'm just guessing. Probably the eating habits that you eat. Do you think that?
Yes, that's a big part of it. We're going to go into that to a minute. Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for playing. That's important. But the traditional options are essentially gabapentin, Lyrica, Cymbalta. Those are probably the most common ones you see. And these are actually off-label uses for the medication. They're actually designed to be anti-seizure meds. and they're using them off-label to help people manage the symptoms of neuropathy. Okay, so you need to be aware of that. Now, with medication, what do they then need to do? Monitor blood work and like what breaks down, like you build a tolerance to it, and then have to do what?
Just baby it.
Yeah.
Cover it up.
Baby it, cover it up.
Treat it, but not.
Increase your meds.
Oh, yeah, increase your
Right,
meds.
like, yeah, if you give a little bit of tolerance, so it's not working anymore, and they bump your meds up, right? So basically, the bottom line is that we're managing symptoms. That's the traditional treatment route. Worst case scenario is potential amputation. I don't dwell on that, but you do need to be aware that this is where it can lead. I've seen too many in my career. I don't want to see any more. We had a lady in here maybe a month or two ago, had already lost 3 toes on one foot, and they were going to amputate on the other side, just literally sitting right where Tammy is. So this is real. It happens. Okay? So that's what obviously nobody wants that. As a little aside, you know what they charge you to take your toes off? It's about $5,000 to remove a toe, not to keep it.
Wow. I mean, that's not a lot, but.
Well, right, but I mean, if I paid you $5,000, would you give me a toe?
No.
Right, so it's like, wait a minute, it's kind of important stuff there.
Would you pay $5 to keep it?
Oh, yeah.
You pay $5 to keep it?
Yeah. $5 I will keep it. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I don't harp on that, but you do need to be aware, especially if you're in the diabetic ranges or pre-diabetic, you're in a higher risk category for that, and so you need to be aware of that. Okay, that's all I'm going to say on that piece. But that's who's kind of tired of having the symptoms managed. Nobody, you like having your symptoms just managed and go on with life, or would you rather have a different solution? Actually, you fix the neuropathy. Treat it. Get it gone. Is that what you want?
I want it gone.
You want it gone? Okay.
Yeah.
Gone? Okay, just making sure.
Because I've been managing it way too long.
Yeah. How long, if I can ask?
5 years.
5 years. Man.
Yeah.
Like, thankfully I don't have neuropathy, but like, your arm falls asleep, you get the tingle in the hand, or, you sit too long on a weird thing and it goes to sleep. Like, I felt that, and I can't imagine dealing with that or the pain of it, for even more than a day, let alone years.
Yeah.
So, man, it's a long time. Thanks for sharing that. That's, yeah.
Can you ask questions?
Yeah, ask questions.
I mean, he said for 5 years. I mean, what you mean, all of the time? Like, once you sleep, you wake up, or?
Most of the time, all day long.
Mm.
While I'm awake.
Wow.
Yeah, while you're awake.
While you're awake.
Like you mentioned, sitting there.
A long period of time.
Yeah, right? Anybody else having trouble getting up out of the chair? Obviously, with a cane, you might.
Keeps you from falling down.
Keeps you from falling down. Anybody else scared of falling down? That's what this kind of represents. So these are the things, you start losing your quality of life, right? You can't walk around and do steps like you used to do. This is my anniversary trip a couple years ago. And we went to the Finger Lakes, right? And this amazing hike with these great views, and I'm going, most of my patients before they started the program would hate to see this instead of living and try to get out and negotiate that, right? So you stop traveling, you stop hobbies. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, things that were fun aren't so fun anymore.
Somewhat, you're right.
Yeah, I see this all the time. So have you ever wondered, what would it be like to get some of that back? To actually be able to live life again, right? That's what this is all about. Okay, so the better way, right? There has to be a better way than just drugging you or masking your symptoms or saying, who's been told, just deal with it. It's going to get worse. You just got to learn to live with it. Anybody heard that?
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much. Okay, that's what it is. They lied to you. Okay, just flat out. Now, depends on how severe the damage is. But if we catch it early enough, there's often a serious chance we can make it dramatically better, if not make it go away. Okay, so that's what this is all about. Now, I never wanted to be an expert in neuropathy. Has anybody learned the hard way in school or knocks before? Just me? I'm the only one that learned the hard way. You had some life happen to you unexpectedly. Who's heard the story about my dad? Anybody heard that story?
What?
The story about my father.
No, we haven't heard it.
Let me share that one with you. That's what got me to be standing here doing these free workshops for you guys. So about, well, it was 10, 11 years ago now. Well, before that, my dad was in Vietnam, served 2 tours. And part of his Vietnam experience, he had Agent Orange exposure, right, which is a nerve poison. And his balance was affected. And so, but he's a tough guy, right? He could handle some things. And he didn't really tell us how bad it was getting. And our neighbor was having a litter of puppies. So we went up to the garage and got the kennel to help out the neighbor and take it over next door. And as he was coming down the steps, he lost his balance. And he fell. And he broke his neck. And he was on the stairs for over an hour before we found him. Because we thought he was helping a neighbor out. And my mom calls and she said, "Hey, Adam, your dad's fell. We're going to the hospital." She was in shock. It didn't really translate. It was a big deal. But I'll never forget walking into the hospital and like, here's his x-rays. And we're doing the best we can, but he's in tragedy. He's going to be paralyzed for the rest of his life. He'll be in a chair. And so from that, I figured I got to figure this out. I've got to find a way to help people not live through that. Because we've been through the whole thing. Emotionally, physically, financially, to put a 1-bedroom in a 2-story house, right? So to put an ADA compliant bedroom 10 years ago was $50,000 for basic stuff. It's probably 3 times that now. So when I tell you that we've been through this, I understand, at least from this side of it, what it's like. I don't want anybody to go there. And so that's the passion that drives this, to help you guys. That's why we do these workshops. Is that fair? So that's what got me to learn this stuff and figure it out. And so it's not in here, but I just finished my book manuscript last week. And so I'm excited to bring that out. It'll be out this next year. It's all about our neuropathy program. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, my dad, when my kids were a lot younger, my nephews, and he's a C5 quad. He could kind of feed himself, but couldn't really hug the kids and grandkids. Completely change our life. So since then, I've been doing neuropathy specifically for close to 8 years now. We've seen well over 2,200 cases, countless seminars, well over 1,000 hours. I just got back from Salt Lake City Sunday night. It's been a whirlwind. And so they've been word training and things like that. Now I get to consult with other doctors, put together protocols at work, get to do some teaching, things like that. It's a little bit about my background for why I'm here. All that to say, there's a rise of holistic healthcare providers led by chiropractors in this country who are saying enough is enough. Let's stop the madness. Let's stop just medicating things. Let's get to the core the root of the problem for why it's even there and help the body heal in a natural way. So, does that sound like something you want? Okay, that's what we're going to talk about today. All right. So, part of my job today is to give you some hope. Have you ever gotten into some bad days and you're just like, is this ever going to get better? Is this ever going to change? You start to lose some hope. Anybody been there? Yeah. So a couple of stories along the way to give you guys some hope. People just like you that were in your chair not long ago that have actually winning, right? So Jay, when he came to see me, he was literally, Judy was driving him. He was backwards in the car. He could not sit down in a regular car seat. He was riding like this. His back was in such bad shape. He thought it was from arch problems. Turned out he had a disc problem in his back and peripheral neuropathy. So we work on both of those things. Bottom line, we got him a lot better. He got his job back and, got his life back. So that's Jay and Judy. But notice they say we were miserable. It wasn't just Jay. It was the caretaker, right? So all the other family members that were helping to support him. Rick, anybody who wants Rick's phone number, let me know. He said he's happy to talk to anybody that wants it. Rick, he came in, his main reason for being here was his son who had special needs, and he needed to be the dad and take care of his son. But Rick came in, my fever was driving me crazy. I was cold all the time, waking up during the night, and who has a great day if they don't sleep well the night before? Anybody have good days when their nights are rough? So imagine trying to, well, you probably already know. Imagine you lived it, right? So he's sleeping through the night, no longer has to get up. His neurology is 75% better. And I called him, so I said, hey, doc, can I get Rick's number? I'd like to talk to him. I called Rick. I said, do you mind if I give your number out just to make sure I respect that relationship? And he's like, doc, I'm in Alaska right now on a glacier. Can I call you when I'm back in town? And I was like, why in the world are you picking up, the phone in Alaska? But anyway, he got to travel again, and he got to get his life back. And then, so anyway, if you want Rick's number, let me know. And then Sandy, a lot of progress with the neuropathy. When she first came in, she was bad shape and couldn't walk. She had a lot of pain in her legs. My right leg is pain-free. My left leg is feeling better. Treatment is helping, and it's worth every penny. Those were Sandy's words. So today I want to show you the root cause, show you our four-prong approach. Just like your chair, you need 4 legs on it to have a good chair. We need all 4 legs to make this thing work. Get some hope back, and then I'll give you a special opportunity if you're okay with that. Sound like a plan? All right, here we go. So number 1, let's cover the first part first. Everybody put your hand up like this for me. There we go. This is going to be your nerve cell. Okay? These are the blood vessels that feed your nerve cell. Squeeze a fist for me. If you were to squeeze it as tight as you can for 10 minutes, what are you going to start feeling?
Numbness.
Numbness. Yeah, what else? Like getting cold, might tingle, right? Like all the, stiffness.
Yeah.
Well, basically a lot of these words up here, right? If you did it for long enough, or like if you put a rubber band around that for long enough, it's going to start to kill the tissue. You're going to get necrotic tissue or die. Does that make sense? So that's what causes neuropathy. When you start to choke the blood supply off, when you suffocate that nerve, it starts to kill the nerve.
Mm-hmm.
How long can you last without air? Minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So over a long period of time, if you have low levels of oxygen getting to the tissue, it starts to kill the nerve. That's where the nerve damage comes from. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're talking about is actually nerve damage from those metabolic processes that kill the nerve. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So this is where medication can come in and block the signaling so you don't feel the miserable stuff, but it's not fixing any of the root causes. Insurance will pay for the symptom management. Right? Medicare and all they will pay for drugs, canes, walkers, wheelchairs, amputations. They cover all that stuff. They don't cover root causes. Okay, just like it's the broken system we're in. You ready for the hard truth? Yeah? It's rigged. Who's the biggest contributor to what Medicare does and doesn't do? Big Pharma.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
They are greasing the wheels for what policies they do, what they cover, what they don't cover. And I'm not getting all political, but and let's face it, is Medicare just trying not to go broke right now? So they're not going to be paying for the most advanced stuff, and the things are actually working to reverse it. So I get the question so often, in the back of your folder is actually Medicare's guidelines, just so you're aware of that. And it says if it's designed to improve your quality of life, then it's not a covered benefit under Medicare. But that's the hard reality. Okay. So I just want to mention that because at the end of the day, we need to get to root cause, right? So what are the root causes that create this problem? The better question is what causes this to happen? And we see gut health as one of the key players. Did you know that half of your immune system, or more than half, is around your gut? So if you're deficient in things, or you got chronic low-level infections in there that can create inflammation, you're not absorbing the nutrients you need to keep the blood flow going and the nerves alive. Does that make sense? So gut health is a major contributor to everything that's going on. Also with that would be things like diabetes, right? That's going to impact how all that works too. Macronutrients. So that's protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Those are the macros. In our country, Ken, what do you think? Do we eat more protein, carbohydrate, or fat? Which one damages nerves more?
Carbohydrates.
Bingo. Carbs. In Christmas time, all the Christmas cookies and the parties and all the fun stuff, right? Alcohol's another one. But all those are actually damaging to the nerves. You need to be aware of that one. That's the macros. So if you're writing notes, you're going to have probably, I don't know, so this is a generalization here. This is not for your specific condition because I haven't examined anything yet. But generally speaking, say 40% of your calories should be protein, right? Another 30 are fat, and then 20, but I did my math wrong. But anyway, you don't want more than 20% of your calories from carbohydrate. All right, when you start doing that, if you have neuropathy and diabetes, then it's way harder to get ahead of it. So just kind of keep that in mind in terms of that. Micronutrients. Micros are your B12, folic acid, lipoic acid, all the nutrients that your body actually needs to make the nerve work. Does that make sense? So micros are just that, like the actual molecules that get the job done. Oxygen deprivation. Some people have, long COVID, or they've got lung problems, or they got other things like that. They're contributing to why they can't breathe properly and get oxygen where it needs to go. Sedentary lifestyle is associated with that, obviously. And then if you're not feeling good and your feet hurt or your hands are bothering you, you don't want to get up and move and do things, so that kind of gets cyclical, right? And then neurological weaknesses. Some people have different genetic diseases, things like that can contribute and make the nerves weak, or like an injury to a nerve, actual damage to the nerve. So those are the root causes that we need to get to and figure out to actually get this thing better. Is that fair? So how do we do that? So here's secret number one is oxygen and angiogenesis. That means creating new blood vessels. So how do we do that? We'll show you that in a minute. But the thermal is one of our tests that we do. So red and white are the only two acceptable colors in the office. If it's other than red and white, that's not good. What do you see in the hands and the torso? Class, what do you see in the hands and the torso? What do you notice? What colors?
Red.
Yeah, red and white in the hands and torso, and you got the feet here.
Yeah.
What do you see in the feet?
Red and yellow.
Down here a little bit, yeah.
Green and
Yeah, green, blue, yellow, yeah. So are they red and white? What does that mean for blood flow?
Right.
Right, it's not good.
It's not good.
Not good blood flow. That's in June 2. July 18th, what do you see now?
More red.
Well, red, right? It's not perfect yet, but it's improving. We're seeing blood vessels regrow, which means you can now get oxygen and nutrients to the tissues. Does that make sense? So we're actually helping this person regrow healthy tissues so their body can actually heal up. Does that make sense? So that's number one, is getting blood flow and oxygen back to the tissues. Let me tell you about Betty here a little bit. Betty was one of my first patients in practice. She came in originally with a back problem. And I'm a chiropractor, so that worked out really well. Got her better pretty quick. And then she said, "Doc, I got neuropathy. Can you help me with that?" And I said, Daddy, I don't know. I didn't learn much in school about that. They mentioned it, but let's see what we can do. We tried some things, put together a plan for her, and guess what happened?
She got better.
I wish, Tammy, we struck out completely. She got nowhere, right? So then what happened? Then what do? You go back to the drawing board, right? Learn a couple more things, put together a different plan, and then guess what happened?
It was better than the first.
I wish. It was strike two. We got nowhere. She was actually getting worse. Okay, yeah, like honestly.
I'm going
like,
home.
yeah. But then I'll tell you what, like then I'm like, okay, and that's around the time when my dad felt we would figure all this out, and like we got the puzzle pieces together. So that's you're gonna hear her story. And what looks different is the office. That was my Lancaster location. I was there for 15 years before we moved up this way. And no, the other question I get is no, the treatment does not turn your hair white. Okay, that's the other, just between the two. So she's going to mention numbers in her, it's like 2 minutes long. She's going to mention numbers. When the nerve has lost 85% of its feeling, that's usually the point of no return. There's going to be permanent nerve damage at that stage. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but can it be reversed?
If it's past 85%, that's usually, so it's like, think of it like a plant. Right, you get a plant that's wilting, you can change the soil and water and sunlight and all the nutrients, but if that plant's too far gone, it's just there's not enough life left in that plant. Makes sense? You can change the environment, but it may not come back. So I will say, very commonly, there's going to be some level of permanent damage. Doesn't mean we can't help it and get it some better, but usually at that point, there's going to be some permanent damage.
85, that's
Yeah.
a lot.
Now, have I seen it completely reverse? Even at that level, yes. But that's not the commonest thing we see. Does that make sense? So she's going to mention numbers, and I'll let her tell her story on that one so you can hear that. So I'm here with Betty, and she's been, how long have you been in the neuropathy program now?
Over 2 months.
About 2 months. And you started, and you were pretty high percentages from
Yes, if I'm correct, I'm 88% loss.
88%, right?
Right, and 78 on the left.
Yeah, and we weren't really sure, I don't know if it's going to help initially.
Yes.
So tell me, what were you experiencing when you first came in with the neuropathy symptoms?
Yeah. Extremely restless at night,
Mhm.
and my toes area especially hurt. It was an unusual. It was hard to define or describe the ache that's there. Sometimes it felt like my feet were freezing, and yet when I touched them, they weren't cold.
Right, but that sensation of the freezing.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then, what's been your experience since being able to start the program?
Well, I don't experience the restlessness or the pain.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and that's only with 2 months, and I have time to go yet, so I'm very delighted.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where this turns out for you, because I know when we looked at your last set of numbers, you're doing, I think it was less than 40%.
There's 31,
Just 31 on the one side and
31 on the other.
on the other. Oh, is he?
Yes.
See, you know better than I do. That's great.
That's
So that's a huge change from 80s.
It is.
That's wonderful.
And I'm so grateful. But the thing that really blesses my heart is my older sister is numb from her knees down,
Mm-hmm.
and now from her hands to her elbows.
Mm-hmm.
And I was hoping I could avoid that. And
Sure.
believe with God's help and your help, I'm doing that.
Yeah, we're really lucky to be a part of that, and
Yes.
that we get to be a part of your story with that. Thanks
Yes.
so much for sharing that. Do I have your permission to share this with other people, other patients, other students, other doctors?
Sure.
Yeah. Any
Yes,
conditions
indeed.
on sharing that?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Thanks so much, Betty.
You're welcome.
All right.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? She was point of no return on the one leg and very close on the other one. And 2 months in, dramatically better. So now the next one is the long-term results we can get once you heal the nerve up. Okay? So this next one is a 6-year follow-up. She got complete resolution, all of her feeling back, all of her motor strength back. She's able to play with her grandkids and keep living life and enjoying things. So this is the follow-up one 6 years later. Okay, so with Betty, this is what about a 6 or so year follow-up.
Yeah.
So we're telling me what your symptoms are now for the neuropathy.
Well, it's good unless I eat sweets.
Okay.
Then I have misery in my feet.
Gotcha.
Big time.
But otherwise, you don't really need your equipment right now, and you're not really using that as part of your care plan anymore.
Correct.
Just better stay on the diet more.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
And that's fantastic long-term results so far, especially because your sister was in bad shape,
Yes.
and you've avoided that. Thank God for that.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes. Thank you so
Thanks,
much
Betty. Appreciate it.
for what you do as well.
Bless you. Thank you. She was non-diabetic, but she noticed when she ate sweets again, her feet would feel it. So just keep that in mind. You don't need to have blood sugar diagnosis to have problems with sugar handling, and that be one of the triggers. So just be aware of that. Okay. Was that kind of helpful to see this was actually one long-term? This is not just like treating it, but you can actually make this go away with the right circumstances. All right, is this going to change for me or no? All right, so that's secret number one is regrowing blood vessels and getting oxygen to the tissue. Number two, then, is reducing inflammation. Right? Who's heard that inflammation is like the core of all the chronic problems that we have today in terms of health, right? Yeah. So we got to regulate inflammation. What are the top triggers for inflammation? Well, prolonged stress is one of them. And if you're in pain or things aren't feeling good in your body, is that relaxing or stressful? It's that kind of can go round and round. Yeah. And then you throw in things like global pandemics and political cycles and economic things and like all these regular life things, and let alone our own personal stories with traumas or what have you, then all of that can compound in the nerve system and do more of this. Does it make sense? So stress is a big deal. Next one are pathogens. Did you know that we're number one in the world, Pennsylvania is, for Lyme disease?
For what disease?
Lyme.
Tick-borne
Tick-borne illnesses.
in PA?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, we're the hot spot.
I didn't know that.
And there's a particular organism in that tick-borne family of bugs called Bartonella. And that one is known to cause neuropathy symptoms. So you might have several things. The point is, you might have several things that are causing your symptom. It's not just like, oh, it's this or it's that. It can be a combination of things. Does that make sense? So processed foods and bad fats. Things like anything that comes in packaging, basically, right? Yeah, the fewer the ingredients, the better. Bottom line is this: eat food the way God made it, and you'll be fine. Like that'll reduce inflammation substantially. All right? Sugar, a diet low in anti-inflammatory foods. So what foods are anti-inflammatory? Any ideas? What food could reduce inflammation? Can I give you some ideas? Ginger. You're gonna say that one.
I drink ginger tea.
Yeah, ginger tea,
To
ginger.
help. Oh, yum.
Yeah, turmeric.
Turmeric.
Yeah, red beets are also really good for this too. So there's a lot of, again, these are just simple whole foods and spices that reduce inflammation, and you can use them liberally in your diet.
I got something to say.
Yeah.
You went down so quick.
Mm.
You said sugar. I don't know if y'all know sugar is almost in everything. I have a friend. He has prostate cancer.
Yep.
He had to get his prostate out. He had cancer also.
Yeah.
and he just stopped with the sugar. He went to a herbalist or whatever.
Mhm.
Now he no longer has the cancer.
Yeah.
So he said, forget about sugar. He said everything. So he got me beating everything with sugar.
Yeah. It's really hard to find things that has more than one ingredient. It probably has some sugar in there.
Because it had like 2, and then to keep on reading this, it has 2 more. So that's just 4 right there, and just that. And so imagine all your other stuff. So I eat the little sausages and stuff like that with no sugar. And I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Hard, but it'll be worth it.
It'll be worth it.
Sugar,
100%.
no sugar.
Yeah.
No sugar.
Sounds like you've already decided to get healthy. Yeah. Who else has already decided I'm going to get healthy? Just you. Anybody else that are going, no, I'm actually going to get healthy. You realize, hey, Big Pharma's not coming to save me,
Oh, they sure not.
right? Yeah, it's up to you, right? Like your insurance company will pay for those things, or like your car insurance, are they responsible to teach you how to drive safely? Or to do maintenance on your car? No, that's up to you to take care of your vehicle and not to drive it safely. Like that's the same thing with food. Like that's up to you. So yeah, but that's a key player. You got to decide to get healthy. That's just, it seems like a simple thing, but you go, yeah, I'm going to make that choice. I'm going to make it now and now and now, right? Like it's, yeah. So that's an important one. Chemicals and medications. Briefly on this one, some statin drugs are known to cause neuropathy symptoms. You need to be aware of that. So if you're on a statin, have a conversation with your medical doctor, prescribe it, and say, hey, what are the side effects of this thing? Is this maybe part of my problem? Chemotherapy, obviously a major player. Some people have been through chemo, and that's been known poison for neuropathy. Heavy metals, fillings in the teeth that are.
No music.
What's that?
No music.
No music? You turn the music down, right? Yeah. This is poison like mercury, lead, things like that. There's actually more lead in this area than there is in Flint, Michigan. Like, a number of years ago, they had that big lead thing in their schools. Like, we've got some old infrastructure here, right? I got a message the other day from the water company that said, hey, check your house for lead pipes. Because, we need to, we don't even know where they all are. So, that's around here. This is really around this area. Chronic dehydration is another one. Drink your water. If you're drinking coffee, every cup you drink will deplete you of 2 cups of water. So every 8 ounces of coffee you drink, caffeinated coffee, you're going to dump 2 cups of water. Be aware of that. So make sure you're bumping your water.
Another question. Have you ever heard, I don't forgot what it was, avocado coffee?
Avocado coffee have not, but I imagine that's anything that's one thing trying to be another, like, meatless burgers. I'm a little hesitant about that. It's like, just, yeah. But anyway, I like where you're going in terms of like just a healthier option than drinking coffee.
I went to Maui. I went there and they took us on a tour.
Yeah.
Drink different teas and stuff. I
ended
up getting avocado coffee.
Interesting. So they probably put good fats in with it and some things like that.
Yeah, they had turmeric. So I didn't like something you don't like. I didn't like the turmeric, so I gave the turmeric away. And I should have kept my turmeric, but I still have turmeric.
Well, yeah, turmeric is pretty easy to come by, so that's not all bad. So here's what happens when we introduce or reduce inflammation. So Isabel, you would never know it, but she came in one day actually, well, it was for you, and she said, I'm at the top of the world, flying on a cloud, no matter what are the circumstances, I'm feeling at my best in my body at 53. A year ago, I was told that I was very sick. She had type 2 diabetes, they were like severely overweight. She came in one day and she said, Doc, I need to give you a bill. I said, what for? And she said, I need an entire new wardrobe. I've lost 70 pounds.
Wow.
None of my clothes fit anymore. So we had a good laugh about it. It was fun, but she got completely changed her life. So a whole new person. We did detox, lifestyle changes, anti-inflammatory diet, got hydration going, and we did some light therapy. You'll see that in a minute. We're going to show you behind the curtains and show you all the things we do for the home care. All right, so actually we're about at that spot now. What I want to do is get us up and moving a little bit. So we're going to check some balance. And then what we're going to do is pick a lucky winner for our Christmas prize, which is going to be an actual miniature treatment, Okay, actually just see and feel what this looks like, and you can all see what their experience is. Does that sound like a plan?
Okay.
So here we go. When you're ready, stand on up, and we're gonna go through some balance screenings.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. And this will bring some awareness, if you don't already know, as to how good or bad your balance actually is. So if at any point you go, hey, I'm not comfortable doing the test, don't feel like you have to, but first, before we get started, look at your neighbor and say, hey, I got your back. Okay, we're not like toppling over here
I
today.
got your back. Who got my back?
I got your
Yeah.
back.
You
I'll
got my
stand
back.
over here.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you the test first, and then we'll do it as a group. Okay, so the first screening test, you get 0 points for this one. Everyone should be able to pass. Is feet go together. Hands don't do it yet. The hands go on the hips, and you're going to close your eyes for 10 seconds. That's our baseline, okay? If you pass that one, we're going to go to one knee up on your strongest leg, eyes open. If you pass that one, it's eyes closed for 10. All right, that's our, so we'll see how we do. So when we're ready, we're going to go feet together, hands on the hips. And when I say go, we're going for 10 seconds, eyes closed. You ready?
Wait a minute. You said feet together.
Feet together, yeah, as close as you can get
together.
them.
Okay.
Hands on the hips. And in 3, 2, well, you ready, Todd?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
my legs on.
Your legs aren't ready. You're ready, but your legs aren't. That's fair. I'll be right here if you need it. All right. Close the eyes in 3, 2, 1, and close them. Okay, that's 10 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Nobody fell over. Good job. Give yourself a hand on that one.
Don't fall over.
Now the next one is where we start to lose some people here. So let's split it out. So the next one's going to be, you're going to stand on one leg, hands on the hips, stand on your strongest leg. Okay? And you guys ready? Hands on the hips in 3, 2, 1, and bring the knee up. If the foot touches at all, you fail.
Okay, I fell.
Can we start over?
Everybody start over.
No, I know.
Yeah. So anybody pass that one?
Mm.
Okay. As usual, we're saying most everybody.
Did you
Where's
participate?
that?
Close our eyes now.
Did you?
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, we're gonna skip the third one. If everybody failed that one, there's no sense in my eyes closed. Okay. So was it better or worse than you thought? And what did you share? Were you spring worse than you thought? Yeah.
Oh, it's work, yeah.
Worse than you thought. Wow. Okay.
Well, I've been working on it at home and it
Yeah.
doesn't get better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me too.
I knew
You
it
can work.
would
Is
get
that what
better.
they're doing in PT to balance things? Yeah. Strengthening. Yeah. Wow. So what we're gonna do now is actually, who's our winner, Doc?
You put the feet down for me.
You're back there sleeping. Let's. What do you think, Leslie?
I don't know. We got a good group here to pick from.
I know. Does anybody not want an opportunity for treatment?
Oh, I don't.
Everybody's like, pick me. Okay.
I don't.
You don't want one.
I don't have a
He's a guest.
Oh, you're a guest. Well, awesome. Then Earl, you get to sit down. Well, you're out of the running anyway. Yeah.
Well, he
Okay.
says he does it, but I saw something up there about cold feet.
Uh huh.
Cold,
So he
ice
might-
cold
It
feet.
could be early stage something or another.
And not every night or
Yeah.
all the time, but oh my gosh,
Sometimes.
they feel like you just came in from walking in the snow barefoot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has anybody had it longer than 5 years? Neuropathy longer than 5?
I would say so.
You've had it longer than
I
5?
did.
Okay. So then, Tammy, we're gonna go with you. Sorry, I thought you were gonna get the. You have a seat here. Then, Tammy, come on up. We'll
I
pick
have to
Tammy,
get my sneakers and my socks. Yeah.
and I'm gonna have you take your boots off if you don't mind.
I'll tell you what, I've been in
We're gonna stay
this.
standing up. Stay standing.
I've been in this for, oh my gosh. This is what, 24?
Yeah.
Probably 30 years that
Neuropathy.
I have felt that my feet hurt.
Yeah.
I'd get up in the morning and I would say I waddled to the bathroom. Then I'd go back and lay across the bed.
Yeah.
And then I got up. I knew I had to get up. I had to work. I had to milk cows. gals I had to do
Yeah.
whatever. You gotta make her feet
You gotta
work
make it
even when they
happen.
don't feel like it.
Yeah. Anybody else relate to that? You gotta make my feet work even though I don't feel like it.
And so I would say, this is 24. Take 34 years away, at least in the 1990s.
Wow.
That's 30 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Honestly, and it was an on-off. My feet hurt.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but sometimes, especially in the morning, until I got them up and moving.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just they will burn tremendously,
Mm.
and I put them in a bucket of cold water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that helps them feel good.
So let's do this
Yeah.
here. Maybe
Okay.
you just slide those. You can leave the. Actually, no. We need to do the socks too then.
You what?
For now, we're gonna take those shoes off. We're gonna check balance, and then we'll measure, like actually time her balance we know what we're dealing with, and see we're improving that.
I didn't bring them then.
No, they're not in the truck.
Are you sure? Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, I thought I threw in socks and
Oh, we got booties.
I thought
Would you rather have some booties?
I thought I threw in.
Do you know what the booties are?
I can find them.
Yeah, let's see if we can get her booties.
Yeah, I thought I came prepared with socks and booty
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, it's all right. We'll get them. So let's have you stand here for me. Does anybody have a timer on? You got a watch or something you time with?
Oh, excuse me.
You good there?
I am.
Okay. No, nobody has a watch on with a second hand.
Here, I'll give you a clock. You're
I don't have a second hand.
There we go.
do you have a
George
second?
has it. You want to keep timing her, George? You're the timer. You're a visual timer, not me. Okay? All right. So, you're going to do the one leg up. We're going to measure how long you can stand on the one leg. All right? George is going to tell you when to start. And we'll,
Are you saying with my hands on
hands
my
on the
hips
hips, you're going
and
to
in my
Go.
one leg
do, yep,
up?
on your
Right.
strong leg.
Yeah. Okay.
You
well,
ready?
I'll pick
Okay.
my right
Go.
as being the strongest one
Okay,
today, and
stop.
that's not strong.
No.
And I've been working.
Let's
on,
try one more time. Feet on the
Wait,
floor.
wait, and
George is
let
going
me
to tell you
try
to go. We're going to time it. You ready?
Let me try my left
Go.
leg.
Stop.
Okay, my left leg I was
What was that?
better,
10 seconds.
10. We got the 10.
but
So left leg is stronger. The right one not so much. Maybe 2 seconds to be generous on the right leg. So just keep that in
can
mind.
I try again? Do I have a second chance?
We're going to try one more with the right
See,
leg. Let's,
Well, do you know what? Sometimes concentration,
Yep.
if I get myself mentally set up, and let me give my right leg a try here and see if I can bypass 2 seconds.
Coming up. Go.
no.
Now, didn't work.
Good try though.
Good try.
So we know, okay, so now let's check one other thing here. Tim, you see it here for me? We're gonna check range of motion to see what the shoulders are doing. Let this relax completely. Not bad, but that should hit her in the ear. Let this relax completely. A little more stuck, pain on that side.
No, wait, what should hit my ear?
Your elbow.
My,
It should go up like this. It should go like monk. Yeah.
oh, that's what I'm
No,
trying to do
no, you
that.
can do it that way.
Right.
I'm looking for this motion here. And when I do it, it sticks like, right there. Let this relax. Let me do the work. Right there. Right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so a little better than 45. Let this one go loose. Let it go loose. Yep. So similar. This one maybe a little better. Is what you're noticing?
Yeah.
So, I mean, not horrible. Maybe we see a change. Maybe we don't. Do something else to check and measure for this too. And then if you look at her.
And on that note, if you'll let me interrupt you,
Yeah.
I've been diagnosed with cervicalgia
Oh, yeah.
because I had a severe fall
Mm.
directly on the top of my head.
Ouch.
So my neck, my shoulders, I'm exercising all
Yeah.
the time, and so maybe that was good as far as I got.
Again,
Whatever.
it's not bad. I'm just saying, can we make it any different? That's what I'm looking for, to see if it changes with this or not. And we can see her shoulder higher on this side. You notice that? She's kind of leaning that way. Yeah. So that tells me the muscle over here that holds the shoulder down isn't firing right. So turn your hand backwards for me, elbows straight. Pull that arm into your side, hold it in tight. Pull in. Yeah, you're trying. And it doesn't hold in place. Do the right one, thumb backwards, pull in tight. And that one's solid. You feel the difference?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the right one works, the left one doesn't. Let's see how the legs are doing, then help with their balance. Okay? I'm going to sit in the chair for me here. There you go. And now we're going to check the muscle on the front of the leg, the back of the leg, and see which ones are working and which ones are not. Okay? Can you raise your knee up into my hand and lift it up strong? That's all right. Let's do the other one here. Raise the right one up. Okay. And that one's weaker, huh? You notice that? Do the left one again.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. That one's, I can't budge that one. It locks in place. Do the other one. Yeah. And that one's not holding. Can you notice that? That one's moving, that one's not. And you had worse balance on this leg. That was harder to do. Let's check the muscle on the back of the leg. Let the knee bend, ankle up, pull the heel back at my hand. Pull the heel, like bend the knee back.
Oh, my knee.
Yeah, pull that heel. I'm going to pull here, don't let me. Pull back, you're trying. So that's the hamstring. Not firing yet. Toes down, that's the calf muscle. Pull back. And that one's all right. Okay, let's do the other leg. Toes up, pull the heel back. That one's also weaker there. Pull back. Yeah, point the toe down, pull back. So if you notice both of these, and that one's a little weaker than this side. Do you notice the same thing? Make sure I'm not making this up. Okay? So now we got some indicators, right? We got some things to measure and kind of monitor. Now we have our list. We're going to go through and actually treat and show you the things we do at home that are common for the home care program. Not everybody needs all of these, but for the demo's sake, we're going to show you a lot of them. Does that sound good? So, Doc, if you wouldn't mind helping us out here.
Yeah,
So,
of course.
this is Dr. Jeff.
Good to meet you. We've never met before. Right?
Hi.
This isn't a
No.
smoke. It's not a smoke and mirror show. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Can you bring me a paper towel?
It
And
also
Molly-
depends if you had a stroke or not.
Yeah, absolutely. So that can be a central nervous system problem that then affects peripheral. So you can have both. And that's honestly everybody that has a peripheral neuropathy problem also has a central problem. Doesn't mean they have a stroke, but that means there's other damage in the brain and or cord that's related to that because they can't feel, so those pathways aren't working from the outside in or inside out.
Because I've had two.
2 strokes. Okay. Yeah, and so that's a complicator when we're dealing with neuropathy, but it's not a deal breaker. Okay, we can still win even if you have a stroke. Yeah. So while he's setting her up, let me show you what's going on here. Here's the breakthrough. The secret 3 is the accelerating the nerve healing. Okay.
Feeling that yet?
Pay close attention because I guarantee these, like
Yeah.
the results we see with this are game changers. So here's number 1. Digital electrotherapeutic stimulation. Who has heard of a TENS unit before?
I have one.
You have one.
I do it.
Yeah. TENS does not work with neuropathy. It
Yeah.
works on other things, but it doesn't work with
Muscles.
neuropathy. TENS is 1950s technology, and it's good for certain things, but neuropathy is not one of them. These, and we have different options we can choose in terms of which device to use. But the bottom line is, it will actually read what your nerves are doing and then send a new signal to the cord to rehab it. Every 4 milliseconds, it's changing the signaling in real time with your nervous system to rehab the nerve back to the cord. So it's getting the healthy nerve signal again. Does that make sense? So that's what this is. Typically, we'll use a bath of water for the feet to get the full immersion to treat the entire foot or the hand. But in this case, we're using the pads because it's simpler and quicker, okay? So that's number 1. Number 2 is vibration therapy. That's what her feet are on here. There's another one right next to, I didn't get your name. Valerie? So yeah, that one right here, that's if you're able to stand up. Some people have joint replacements or things like that. And this is for if you don't have joint replacements. Yeah, you stand on it like that. That improves balance. We still get great results with the seated version. And yeah, improving balance. Or you can see here, also improving circulation. Push mower, right? Summertime, grass is growing, you're doing a push mower, what happens to your hands? Yeah, but they get tingly and numb after a while on the push mower. Yeah, same idea as this. It's the wrong vibration going in and out, and that's what makes that tingle, right? When we get the right vibration in it literally trains the brain for balance and blood flow improves, okay? So that's vibration therapy. Number 3 then is light. There's over 20 years of research on light therapy regrowing blood vessels and nerves with 0 side effects. I will retract that a little bit. They have some studies now that say if you use too much of it for too long, like anything, too much of a good thing is a bad thing. So you can overdo that, but generally with these giant results.
Is that the same as like a laser surgery?
Great question. So the surgical lasers are much higher power. They will literally cut through tissue. This is not that high power. Okay, so it's called low-level light therapy, which then actually increases the blood vessels and helps them to heal and grow.
Yeah, they have some of that at PT.
Yeah, so, right. That's becoming more useful in PT. And we have several different lasers that we can use. As you're seeing on Tammy here, some other options with that too. Bottom line with light, though, is it restores blood flow and relieves pain. And it helps the nerves communicate. I mean, energy production improves. There's a million things that light therapy does. You can use it also on areas that are, you get a back problem, a shoulder problem, a neck problem. You can use the light anywhere else as well. And usually, if you got something, hubby might have something, you can double dip and both use the same tech, right? So we like that one a lot. So that's the other key player is getting light energy in so that this can go away. So those are the home protocols typically. Then the other leg of the chair is going to be the nutritional protocols, both dietary and supplementation. We've got supplement protocols and food protocols that have worked literally not just in our office, but in over 500 locations around the country with tens of thousands of patients. We get all that clinical data. It works every time. Okay? So you've probably seen things online, buy this nerve cream or that nerve pill or what have you. Mm-hmm. If they work, I don't see those people, right? But generally speaking, it's one leg of the stool. You need all 4 to really get the job done. So those are the main ones. The other one, and this is why we lost with Betty the first couple times, we were only doing in-office therapies for her. We weren't treating the nerve frequently enough and with the right tools. But some people have a disc problem in their lower back, right? So the nerve from the back supplies the legs, or the nerve from the neck supplies the hands. If there's a compression in that nerve, we can gently traction it and take the pressure off the nerve, and that can wake it up again and start to heal it. Okay? So that's what you're seeing, this machine here in the back on track. We'll gently traction. We can do that for neck or lower back and take the pressure off the low back and the neck so the nerve heals. The chair that you're in here, Tammy, that Sandy's is sitting in here, that's pulse electromagnetic field. It's a magnet that turns on and off very quickly. And that's this table here. Typically, we'll put this on the feet. And we don't have your full history and consent, so we got to skip that one for now. But bottom line with that is, like when your cell phone gets drained, right? What do?
Charge.
You charge it. This literally charges the cells in your body with more energy. So it's like powering up the cells, and your body heals quicker with more energy or quicker with more energy.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Would you say this machine would do that?
Yeah, the chair that she's in here,
the chair.
It's not turned on, but we've got a chair, we got a bed, we have different attachments, and typically this will be on the feet.
Yeah.
And then you're putting your foot in there, your hand in there. and that energy then goes through this into the body, and then the nerve can heal up quicker. I've seen fractures heal in literally half the time. We've seen, you name it, the injury just gets better so much faster with more energy. So some of you may have heard of Tony Robbins. He's a motivational speaker, international speaker. He has these in his home that he sleeps on them before he does his presentations. You know, a lot of your pro athletes, things like that, they've got this technology in their locker rooms.
Wow.
So it's really amazing stuff. The other game changer is soft wave. That's in the back room and right in this room over here. And it looks like that, kind of like an ultrasound wand. And what it does is send a radio wave into the tissue. And that radio wave stimulates healing. You've heard of stem cell therapy before, stem cell injections? So this is like stimulating your own body's stem cells. You don't need the expensive injections that may or may not work, or may show up alive, or maybe they don't. And your body makes its own. And this activates the stem cells in your own body. We see a 300% increase in blood flow. Right? What's that going to do? This reduces inflammation, speeds wound healing, ulcers. We've seen leg and foot ulcers, like diabetic ulcers. We can get that to heal up quicker. So it does amazing things. This foot here is on the road to bad news, right? How many treatments between the one on the right and the one on the left?
How many treatments?
Yeah, how many treatments do you think that took?
I think the right, none.
None. That's the first time I've ever heard none. Everybody guesses 10. Yeah. No, yeah, that one didn't. So from here to here, the same foot.
Yeah, it's the same for you.
Same foot, one treatment.
That was one treatment.
One treatment.
Oh, I thought you was asking between the two. Okay.
Oh, yeah. No,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So that one got treated. This is a buddy of mine's. And he said, Doc, what happened today? I'm like, get out of here. You got to be kidding me. And so I've not seen a foot that bad, thankfully. But yeah, one session. We see them pink up all the time now. You know, they may not be that bad, but you'll definitely see the tissue coloration change when you treat it. It's phenomenal.
Y'all do that here?
Yeah, these are in-office therapies. Now, you can also use it on knees, neck, shoulders, any joint that you need help lower back. Like, it's phenomenal for relieving pain and getting inflammation down. All right, last thing here that's really important is breathing, right? Because we need oxygen to the tissues. So this is a simple one because you're breathing anyway. You might as well do this at home, okay? So here's how we do that. You're going to breathe in for a 4 count, hold it for 4, exhale with a hum, and that's the magic. And then you hold it out for 2 and repeat. I'm sorry, you hold out, exhale for 6. And this process is clinically proven to increase nitric oxide, which dilates blood vessels. All right, and relaxes the whole nervous system. Here we go. Breathe it in. Hold it. Hold it out for 2. Let me hear that hum. That's really important. Breathe it in. Hold it. One more time. What do you notice? Yeah, okay. Yeah. It might feel a little silly, but it's a little bit, it relaxes your nervous system. If you're doing that 5 to 10 times every waking hour, I had a patient come in and she was on her feet all day long for her job. Did just that between when she learned about it and when she came in for her appointment. And she's like, Doc, my feet are already feeling better just doing the breathing. I can't wait to get started.
Well, her feet?
Yeah. Because the oxygen is now improving. Her nervous system is relaxing, right?
Wow.
But we said stress was a big player for neuropathy, so this calmed the system down. Got blood flow moving. Yeah, it works.
How often she did it?
She actually did it 5 to 10 times every waking hour. I realized you're probably going to do it maybe once or twice a day. You know, let's be honest. if I prescribe it that often, you might do it once or twice a day, but that's better than nothing. Yeah, so you can do that at a red light or whatever's going on. Do some breathing and just get the body reset. Okay. If you're like me though, you need a reminder. So I think you already have yours on, Timmy. They're a bracelet. There's in your bag is a bracelet.
Oh, yeah, some blue one.
Yeah, a little blue bracelet in there. That's your breathing reminder. Okay, so grab that guy. I invite you to put it on. And it also has a statement on there. Ken, what's that read?
Legacy Health.
Cool. The other side's more important. Yeah, I'm beating neuropathy. So this is kind of like your declaration of, you know what, I'm going to do something different. It's your reminder that I'm making changes, right? So I invite you to put that on. It's a little gift to you to say, hey, I'm doing this. Okay? So,
Wait, just
it might be too tight. A little tight?
There you go.
Question?
while we're on breathing,
Yeah.
Friday, I picked up a sleep machine. I was diagnosed with severe sleep apnea.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on that?
Yeah. Sleep apnea. Boy, if you need to breathe at night, you need to breathe at night, right? Like that's a big deal. Commonly that relates to brainstem, and so it's a good point though. Sometimes the autonomic nerve system, that's the nerve system that runs everything that you don't have to think about. Your sleeping, your digestion, your heart rate, all those things, that can also be impacted by neuropathy. So some of that might be related to everything going on. But typically the nerves from the brainstem that keep you alive are functioning when you're sleeping, and some of them might be less than functional, right? And then you need the sleep support. Typically, though, too, you lose some weight, and that becomes easier in the airway, and you can breathe easier. So we've had some people actually minimize or eliminate their need for that. So that's a trickier puzzle. It takes a little more to dig into and fix that one. But if you need to breathe at night, yeah, that can be helpful.
I still have, in fact, I just found it the other day. You know, that like breathing thing they give you in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Like to
that
measure
sort of the same thing as that there?
You know what? If we're talking about the same thing, they actually have you measure. Yeah, you can measure and increase your breath. And yeah, so that's a good tool to have because that'll increase your diaphragm strength and you get more oxygen in the tissues.
What's that? That's the one with the ball in it and you breathing.
Yeah, there's one with the balls and there's all kinds of different things, a little slide thing and yeah. All right, let's see how we did. And before we do that, so briefly, Leroy got 50% better because he wouldn't stop drinking turkey whole sweet tea. Okay, so I mentioned that because you can still improve and not be 100% compliant with everything. You get better results if you do, but you can still win even if you're not 100% compliant. The main thing is you have to decide you're going to get better. And you're going to do everything you can to make that go. Is that fair? Yeah, I can feel my toes for the first time in 5 to 6 years. Elsie, her husband, would drive her an hour and 15 minutes to get here for her treatments, got her balance back. And I love this one. When I'm walking, it doesn't feel weird. I haven't felt my toes in 10 years.
Wow.
And so, like, these are the real things that happen. All right, let's see how we do with Tammy. You ready? Is anybody a little excited? Like, yeah. Let's see what we did, right? That's proofs of the pudding. Okay. So we had, that one was weaker and your hamstring here was weaker. So bring your toes up, bend that knee back, and pull that back in my hand. Pull that heel back. Pull, 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 right here. Yeah, there you go. Better. Let's do the other one. Raise that straight up in the air. Use the same hand. That's different. Yeah? What'd you notice?
I'm stronger.
Yeah. Let that rest down here. Bring your ankle up and pull the heel back. Toe down, pull the heel back. What was your experience there?
Better.
Stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Let's see if the balance got better. What do you think? Let's try that out.
I think so.
Yeah, come on out of the chair. Notice what it's like getting up.
Okay, good.
Was that easier than you thought? Getting up out of the chair?
Yeah.
A little smoother getting out. Okay. What do you know? What are your feet feeling like now?
Good.
Can you say more about good? What does good mean?
They feel better.
Feel better.
Maybe, yeah.
Better in what way?
Yeah.
How did they feel before?
I've been in my shoes all day and they felt okay. And they felt okay when I took my shoes off. But now at night is when, I didn't have even when I took my shoes off, the tingling and the numbness and the burning like I get later on in the day.
Okay.
Yeah. But I would say, they're a little bit better. My big toes don't,
Cool.
there's a,
So let's say if it was, they weren't at a 0, but just for the sake of the demo, if it was a 0 and 10 would be perfect, what do you notice now? What number would you put on them now?
probably a 3.
A 3. So we got 30% better in a couple minutes. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see about the shoulder movement and then we'll check balance. Let the shoulder relax completely. Nice and easy here. Is that different?
Yeah.
I would say so
I
too.
saw that.
Let this relax here. Is that one different?
Yeah.
Wow, we didn't even really treat the shoulders, right? Like we're working on the whole nerve system here. So that's a big deal. Let's check balance. You ready? George, you got that timer out?
Can we start with just standing with the eyes closed
Sure.
and build up to it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hands
just,
on your
just seeing
hips.
how that feels different
Then
standing
my
with your
feet
eyes closed.
together.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, hands on your hips.
Kind of like what we did the first round.
Mhm. And when you're ready, close your eyes.
Ready? Go. 5 seconds. 10. Okay.
Yes. How did that feel compared to the first time we did it?
Half as wobbly.
Half as
I only had a
Okay.
little. I only had a
Yeah.
little bit of a sway
Sway,
that I
yeah.
could feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready to try one leg?
Mhm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. George, counter in. On the one leg.
And this is for what? 10 seconds?
Yep.
Ready?
And I have my eyes open, just
Eyes
lift
open.
just with my
Yep, just
leg.
one leg up.
Just
Go. 5 seconds. 10. Good.
okay. I beat it. I
Yeah,
was ready to
you beat it.
follow.
Yeah.
Another second.
How did that feel?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Pretty fun?
Can we try the other leg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try the right leg.
Ready? Go. 5.
Okay.
10.
So we got yeah, we'll squeeze it up to 10.
Maybe 9 plus 10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like a,
Was
7
that the
second
leg
on
though
that.
that we couldn't do more than 2 seconds?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like has anybody been able to see changes like that in that amount of time? Has anybody ever seen that?
No.
Can you see why we win now with neuropathy? If you're doing that, you didn't even get the full treatment. We didn't do anything else in office. That's just some of the home therapy. We didn't change nutrition, any of that. We add all those together. You do that twice a day for 90 days. What do you think happens?
Wow.
Wow was right.
Mm.
That's why we win.
Mhm.
Okay? Tammy, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Give her a round of applause.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a little story with all this because see over the years, like I said, I got
30,
18 feet
yeah.
and I just tolerated it, lived with it and whatever. But over the years I've been to podiatrists,
Uh-huh.
I've been to orthopedic doctors, I've gotten insoles in my shoes.
Yeah.
I've had some reflexology done over the years.
Yep.
I've done about everything. But then this spring, I got where from my hips down here, I ached. I could hardly walk. I had so much pain in my legs and my feet. You know, it all combined.
Yeah.
And even now yet, I have down here my ankles. I would hurt so bad in the inside of my ankles. And if I take my hand and go up that nerve all the way up my leg, it's tender.
Mm-hmm.
And so one thing led to another. And I went back to my podiatrist that I had gone to off and on over the years. And at one point, she gave me shots in my toes. And so I went back to her again. And when I explained to her how I was feeling, you know, just from my waist down and walking and the pain and just the tenderness, and then I ache in my right hip. My orthopedic doctor tells me I have arthritis.
Mm-hmm.
There's no need for surgery on my hip yet. But then he x-rayed I had an MRI done on my back, and he said I have some neuritis.
Yeah.
Now, I had back surgery 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I was beginning to wonder if something was happening from my hips down because of my back surgery 4 years ago.
Yep.
So they said not. He said I had a little bit of neuritis, nothing warrants surgery, which I don't want.
Right.
But you're right. The back doctor has me taking a medication for back pain if I get it.
Yep.
My orthopedic doctor, but my podiatrist earlier this summer gave me a prescription for gabapentin. Although she also ordered an EMG on me.
Yeah.
So I had the EMG done, and that came back that I have tarsal tunnel syndrome in my feet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what was causing and does cause the inside of my ankle to get tender. Now this comes and goes. This isn't, you know, a constant everyday thing.
Yeah.
And then to deal with that, she wanted to do a shot for the tarsal tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I opted out that day because I was by myself.
Yeah.
And she said I'd need a driver.
Okay, sure.
And I hadn't had the EMG done yet. So I said to her, well, I just want to hold off and do all this testing, get all my ducks in a row, and then make a decision.
Sure.
I have not gotten a shot.
Mm-hmm.
I have not taken any of the gabapentin pills she gave me.
Mm-hmm.
Because here again, with getting testing done, and I hadn't had my MRI yet, for me, I just didn't want to cover anything up with medications
Sure.
of what was going on in this body.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is where I stand.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, about 4 years ago, I had a severe fault. So I deal with cervicalgia, which I do exercises daily for my neck. If we're going away in the car,
Mm-hmm.
sitting home watching TV, no matter where I'm at.
Yeah.
Some people might think, what is she doing? We're sitting somewhere. I'm doing
You're
my
taking
thing.
action. Yeah.
And that's what I have to do
Yeah.
to feel better and keep myself moving.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I say moving because we milk cows 41 years.
Okay.
So I know how to move.
Yeah. Well, Tammy,
Yeah.
thanks for sharing that story. Let's briefly talk about the tarsal tunnel. Yeah, right? The tarsal tunnel, if that tunnel is collapsing, is a shot gonna fix the tunnel? You have to make the mechanics work properly and support that tunnel again, and then the nerve is not trapped anymore. So a shot's a temporary thing, but we work with those kind of things too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, bottom line is, we've got so many options and tools to help, and we've found some serious ways to make improvements in this kind of stuff. So, 2 options, right? Like, keep doing what you're doing, get the same result, or we can try something new that's proven you saw it in front of your own eyes would make changes in the nervous system, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're doing. Questions I get. How do I know if I qualify? Number one is we do our assessments, right? We do our examination and figure out how bad is it, and what can we do, what can we not do, right? How long does it take? The assessment's around an hour, no more than an hour and a half. It's pretty painless. There's nothing really invasive about it. The duration of correction can be anywhere from a couple of months up to maybe even 2 years, depending on how bad the damage is and what's going on. So those are time frames. Does my insurance cover this? What do you think?
Probably
We
not.
kind of already talked about that, what they do cover. But yeah, basically no. There's going to be out of pocket, specifically for neuropathy, like insurance doesn't typically touch that. If there are things like chiropractic or other hands-on modalities we might need to do, or traction, etc., there might be some coverage for that, depending on what your plan would be, but it's going to be typically minimal. How much would it be to invest in my health? So I'll say this. Commonly, we can get payments around $200 to say $500 a month in that neighborhood, depending on how severe it is. Cure plans, we have some that start around $3,000 and can go up, honestly, north of 20. We had one lady that had 3 heart attacks in 1 year. She needed a lot of help with her circulation. So depending on what's going on and how many things we need to work on together, obviously that's going to depend on those ranges. Is that helpful to know? I'm not trying to hide anything, just telling you straight how it can be. Okay? So any questions on that?
How about acupuncture?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
You know what? There are some specific helps with acupuncture. We utilize some of that concept for the nerves, and there's like stomach 31. But yeah, there can be 35. There's some specific points that are useful in that actually correlate to the nerve and how they actually, it's more of a neurological concept that we use with it as opposed to the actual modality. Does that make sense? But yeah, there can be some benefit with it. But if you're only doing acupuncture, it's for most people that's not enough of a support for just acupuncture, but it's helpful. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So who's had their time wasted before?
Who had what?
Your time wasted. How do you feel when your time's been wasted? Right? I can't stand that. So hopefully you don't feel that way today. But what my promise is to you is this: if we can help you, we're gonna one of two things. If we can accept your case, we're going to do everything we can to help you. If we can't accept your case, we're not going to waste your time or money.
Wait. Accept your what?
Your case.
Case.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said your kidneys.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't want your kidneys. No, thank you. So, yeah, if we can help you, we're going to do that. If we can't, we're going to send you someplace where you can get help. Is that fair?
Yeah.
It should be a win-win, and make sure you get treated right. That's to say that. So, can I share the next steps with you? Like, what does that look like? What would next steps look like? Is that good?
Yes, sounds
right. So, we have a 2-day process. And step 1 is information gathering, right? We see what's your history, what got you to where you are today, where do you want to be, what are your goals, what are your aspirations? Can we help you get there? We do our comprehensive neurological exam. Balance and coordination testing, we actually have a force plate that will literally measure your fall risk and give us a number and quantify it. We can watch that change. We do muscle strength testing and our 16-point sensory exam. And that's going to let us know how much damage there is on the nerve, how much sensory you've lost. Okay? We do our diagnostics with thermal imaging. What were the good colors?
Red and
Red and
white.
white. Yes, we see. What does that look like for you? We do a microcirculation analysis. A lot of people say, oh, they did the blood flow, and they say my arteries are good. We're looking for the microcirculation, the capillaries, and that's what actually gets the blood to the nerve. Not the big, it's like when there's a snowstorm, the main highways get cleared first, and then like in the back roads, that's the last thing they touch. Same thing with your blood vessels, right? So if they're clogged up with something, where the blood flow is not getting in there, that's the capillary. That's what we actually are checking with this. A lot of people come in and are type 3 or higher. If you're a 5 or higher, I'm sending you to cardiology because that's when they're going to see it on their testing. So we've saved a lot of heart attacks with this kind of technology, getting people in the right hands. So that's the screening we do in the diagnostics. That's everything on one graph. Then we take that information. I sit down with the team and go, can we help this person get their goals back? What does this look like? We give you a graph of your sensory loss. You'll see there's 4 stages like there is for cancer. There's acute stage, moderate and severe and permanent. And that'll let us know timelines for healing and different things that we would need to do to get that better, okay? So we go over that with you. We get your customized care plan aimed at reversing this for you, and then go over financial options on that day as well, okay? So that's our process. That's everything on one slide. And the total value is $875.
What the discount is what?
It's Christmas, right? Like, hey, So but see, here's the thing. I went in the other day for a couple weeks ago now for a test for my thyroid and for my voice. One test, guess how much it was?
$1,000.
Yeah, $1,000 for one test. So hopefully you're seeing there's more value here just in that assessment alone.
So it's cheaper than marijuana gummies.
Cheaper than marijuana gummies. I was not aware of that, but that's good information to have. Yeah. So there's that. And let's face it though, if we even just stop the progression, keep this from getting worse, would that be worth it?
Of course.
Yeah. So with that in mind, people that take action are the ones that win. So we're going to give you 2 gifts as part of our Christmas gifting here. You're going to get a fast pain retreatment. We're going to give you a full session on the digital electrotherapeutic with a foot bath, the whole 9 yards on the second visit. And we're going to give you 25 anti-inflammatory foods. You can start using that now. And we'll give you a digital copy of that one in your email. Okay? So that's how that works. Total value is $945, but no, Christmas time. Typically we're doing $197, but here's what this is going to be even better for you guys. This is literally the only one that we're doing this year. $47 is going to get you a screening to see what is going on. Okay? How we're doing thermals. We'll do a couple of things like that and see, are you even a candidate to do the full exam? If you are, then you just pay the balance of that. So $47 gets just helping you figure out, is this even something we can help you work with? Okay? That is our Christmas gift to you guys. You're still getting the bonuses. $47. Okay? Yeah. And that's literally the only one we can do like that.
When
What's
you
that?
want your 47?
When? Yeah, so to take advantage of that, here's how that works. Yeah. On the back window here, there's a couple sticky notes. Looks like there are more of you than... Anyway, we got some sticky notes. That has a date and a time on it. Pick the one that's going to work for your schedule. The data school will collect the 47, get you the paperwork that you need to get started, and we'll see you on your appointment time. It's that simple.
That sounds
Okay.
good. We can go
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, you can go now. Grab that.
Have a dinner
So
date.
y'all know, now I have no
Yeah.
dinner date.
But I will say this, like, we need to get that in before the end of the year because January comes and then we can't do that. Does that make sense?
No.
No, it doesn't make sense?
No, you can do anything you want. Just like
We could do it, but we're not
Just
going
like the
to.
government.
Just like, what's that?
The government, they can do anything they want.
Oh, well, yeah.
And there's no such thing as
Yes, this
It's drones. Yeah. Drones are.
just next month.
even though it's shut down 2 military bases.
Yeah.
The Stewart Air Base, that's the head of the New York National Guard.
Oh, wow, okay.
They just said Stewart Airport.
Got it. So, yeah, you're right. We can do anything we want, but, come the new year, if you don't have the date set, we're not going to honor it. You know.
How I want
And
to
then
phrase it.
Monday, either 9, 10, or 11.
Just said it's been 5 years, maybe longer since I've been dealing with this.
Yeah.
Why have it all of a sudden seen neuropathy? I know it's a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why did all of a sudden it seem to come to a head? I mean, pop-ups on your phone. 'Cause you
Oh,
signed up
as
for
far
the
as-
news.
Yeah, maybe you designed for this. I bet
Signed
you
up for
why.
this.
But I thought that was before this.
It was before
It
this?
started scaring me about
Oh, wow, okay.
amputations and
Yeah,
death.
yeah.
The newspapers are full of big ads.
Yeah.
But where was,
Oh.
they're just finding things out because where I can take it. Every time
So I can put that right there.
I tell my neurologist that things aren't getting any better, she just ups the dosage of my pill.
Right. Yeah. So part of it is more and more docs that are in this field are learning how we can help it. Some people like the scare tactic. I don't. Like, so it's just like,
Where's your phone?
yeah.
Right.
You know, why is it? I mean, I don't know.
I wasn't scared, but it made me.
Well, yeah, it's like-
My brother-in-law passed away. He was a double amputation. And
We had Holstein.
just everything made me start to think.
Well, I mean, that's a big deal. Better take care of this now. Yeah. And that's the crazy thing with neuropathy is you can see it go from, you know, bad to worse, and then it's like, oh, it feels like it's getting better, but that's actually your feeling, and it's actually getting worse. That's what city is about. Is it tends to degrade unless it's treated properly. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
So that's,
it was
you
still
get
good,
a screening for
made it work.
47.
But we were already all
Yep.
we had very
Yes, sir.
four boys on the farm.
And then.
I was just gonna ask.
We had the boys all, I
Right.
had them all dressed and cleaned out.
Yeah, so that's kind of our- Do you even qualify to do the
And
full
they're
exam?
like,
If so, then we're gonna do the 197 you saw, not the 845.
Go to the barn and deliver
Yeah.
half.
And then we just kind of apply the rest of what you already paid toward that. Make it simple and easy.
My,
Yeah. Good.
I take too many meds now, so
Right?
you can't afford to take any more.
Yeah. Most people that go through the program, I would say on average they're reducing 30 to 50% of their medication.
All the work that they did there. It was crazy.
You go to one doctor, he
It was
takes
such an
you all.
Oh, God, Mark?
Yeah, you know, just for learning about the whole thing. It was, I
And,
thought it was amazing.
I just this morning heard
You're
a
all-
movie, if you
you're all
can
Yeah.
screen it on your TV,
And
called
blood
The
pressure,
Farmer and the Bell.
Yeah.
The
just about everything you can go wrong with, or
And it's about a woman, she had
Well, it's
never
time to
been
make it
on a
right.
farm, and then she put it or stepped.
so between riding horses and Harleys,
Meaning stepping in
Right.
a lot of
the
vibration.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
And she
Yeah.
and her husband, it's a love
Right
story
here.
along with
Yeah,
farm.
second
Yeah, right here.
But I said,
Restroom.
Daryl, we have to try and get our
Where are we
grandchildren
taking
to screen that.
On the back window right here. Yeah. So for those of you at home,
Yeah.
go ahead, Tom.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
finding that, like, it's a very sacrificial life.
You can call us at 717-285-0001 and we'll be happy to extend that to you. It is first come, first serve. We hope to see you soon. Merry Christmas.
yeah, the side effects from some of the meds